Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to give you the exact portion sizes you should be setting as a standard in your bar, and you will be shocked by how much money it will save you. Let's get it on. Hey there, Dave Allred, the real barman from barpatrol.net. Today, in part 3 of our Bar Maximizer series, we are going to piggyback off the last episode in which we talked about glassware and the sizes you should be using in your bar. If you haven't seen that video yet, go ahead and click on the title appearing right now and go watch it and then come back here. Did you watch it? Or did you just stay here like a cheater? I'm watching you. Okay. I'll have to trust you on that. Today in this episode, we're talking about how much to put in those perfectly sized glasswares you now have in your bar. But first, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so now so you don't miss out on any of my bar management tips and tricks and specialized education so you can be super smart and impress people with your bar management acumen and sagacity. See? Think of the vocab words you would have missed if you didn't watch this episode. Take that, thesaurus.com. Okay, enough of that. So I find when I speak with owners or managers, about half of them know what their portion sizes are. And the other half kind of crinkle their brow and think about it, or they holler over their shoulder, "Hey Mike, what's our portion for like a Jack and Coke?" Or they try to sputter out some answer, but they can't bullshit me. I can tell within 2 seconds what their standards are and if they know their portion sizes. So hopefully you know your portion sizes, but if you don't, it's okay. That's what I'm here to help with, because portion sizing is one of the most important things you can do in your bar and kitchen. And if you sell more food than booze, it's going to be mega important that you set up some standards in your kitchen, have some pre-portioned baggies with the food put in there, how much lettuce, how many beans, whatever, that can just dump it into the pot or the bowl or the kettle or the pail or whatever receptacle they might be using, as well as ladles or other utensils so they can portion out an exact amount. But today we're talking specifically about the bar, and if you haven't seen my video yet on how much overpouring just 1/2 ounce per drink can cost your bar, you're going to want to go watch that video right here. All right, and the thing to remember is that portion sizes is all about systemizing, and you want to make sure that once you set that standard that you're able to enforce it, which you can do with any good inventory system. So without further ado, let's go over my suggested portion sizes. You don't have to follow them exactly. Just remember, if you have a different portion size than I suggest, that you price your drinks correctly so you hit your cost percentage numbers. Okay, let's do the shrinky dink thing so I can get out of the way here. All right, let's start with the basics. So we're gonna start with a shot or like a mixed drink, like a Jack and Coke, gin and tonic, anything like that. That should be 1.5 ounces. Again, if you want to pour 2 ounces, just make sure you price it correctly. For neat or like a brandy and a snifter, again, I still recommend 1.5 ounces. A lot of people like to do 2 ounces. Just make sure you're pricing appropriately. You see a theme here. And then for wine, wine's pretty basic and most of the people hit this right. It is 6 ounces for wine pours. A good thing to do, especially for beginning bartenders, is get a wine glass, fill it up with water, measure 6 ounces out, and then put a little splash of either cranberry or grenadine in there. And then put it up on the bar there where they're pouring wine, and then they can pour an exact amount every time, and they won't be over pouring. And it trains them how much 6 ounces is. Very convenient. For martinis, we're going to talk more about martinis in a second. This is one of the most over poured drinks. If you ever want to go out and get hammered and get the best bang for the buck, go order martini. It's a $2 upcharge in most bars, and you're going to get a lot more than the 2 ounces or 2.5 ounces, 3 ounces that most bars pour. I believe that most bars are pouring around 4 ounces for their martinis because they feel like they need to fill up the martini glass. I'm going to show you a demonstration in just a second. I recommend 2.5 ounces for the martini pours. Like I said, most bars are doing a $2 upcharge. If you order an $8 liquor, you're getting usually an extra shot for $2. We talked about that in the perceived value video. That's going to be your best value, but it's really bad if you're a bar owner. Champagne is usually 5 ounces. A lot of people serve the champagne splits, so you don't have to worry about it. Ports are usually 3 ounces because they're kind of expensive. It's a dessert wine. You get the smaller glasses and pour 3 ounce pour. And then finally, when we're talking about beer is a whatever size the glass is. It's going to be 16 ounces, 22 ounces. Can't possibly over pour that one unless you're pouring a bunch of foam down the drain, but that's not based on your portion size. And then before we go, I'm going to do a quick demonstration for you on martini pours that just might blow your mind a little bit. I used to do this for bartender trainings, for bar patrols, for local clients to show them exactly what happens when you fill a martini glass all the way to the top. So I even have an old video of myself giving this demonstration. So let's go over. There's me, a younger and handsomer version of myself. And what I want you to look at here is the level of liquid in the glass, because this is where guests start bitching that there's a lot left at the top. But this is a standard portion based on the 2.5 ounces. And if your bartenders will fill their shaker up and pour the liquid in and shake it up or stir it, it will dilute the liquid, so it'll fill up even further. And then if you put an olive or an onion or a twist in there, the displacement will move the liquid even higher. So people are always bitching that they want it filled to the top. This is why I don't recommend getting giant martini glasses. So I'm going to roll this here. Let's roll this. And then what I'm going to do here is just fast forward just a little bit. We don't need to see me talking, blah, 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 blah. And then what we're going to see is I'm going to hold the glass up here again. And what we're talking about is that inch at the top, even more than an inch right at the top. And I'm going to take some saran wrap here, and we're going to put it over the top. This is what I used to do in the bar trainings to show the bartenders when people ask you to fill it to the top of the martini glass here, what's going to happen. So when I flip this upside down, you can see the liquid, because the glass is so wide, it only shows about an inch there. That's less liquid than it was the space at the top. So when they want you to fill it the rest of the way, you can see it's only an inch there. And if I flip it back over, essentially what you're doing is giving them an extra martini. All right, fill it to the top. Well, now you have a double martini. That's why you can't fill it to the top. And so if people are still bitching and moaning, what I used to do is bring out 3 or 4 shot glasses, especially if they're like an ounce and a half, and I would pour the liquid in. It would fill up like 3.5 shot glasses, and they would look at it and go, ew, it's all alcohol. So that's all you have to do. And then I would pour it back in the martini glass or shake it up for them again, and they'd be happy. There you go. Standardized portion sizing for your bar, plus a little martini glass magic trick for your entertainment. I should have worn my cape and top hat. Next time. Until then, I'm Dave Allred. I hope you're using these bar profit maximizer techniques to make $1 million. Next time, we'll be talking about dead stock and why it's killing your bar in more ways than one. Get it? Dead stock? Killing? Never mind. I'm out.